A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we meet Dr. Sebastian Wieser, founder and CEO of Unite, Europe's leading B2B e-procurement platform. Sebastian, welcome. How are you doing today?
Fine. How are you, Claudia?
Absolutely amazing, and I'm very much looking forward to have this interview together with you. So that's why, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, because we want to focus on very important topics today, like Vuca and also sustainability. And I heard there's quite a lot going on in your company and also on the platform. So I think I can imagine that you are talking quite a lot with buyers and suppliers at the moment, aren't you?
Yes. It's an incredible time. Yeah? The market is really in uproar. We have such changes that I haven't seen in the last 20 years, yeah, in changing in this e-procurement. And it's quite challenging, but I think it's highly interesting. Yeah? I'm actually quite excited.
Okay, so you said it's challenging, so let's dive a little bit deeper into that. We already heard and read about the term Wuka. So what does Wuka mean in a procurement context, and why is it so crucial in this current situation?
Well, Wuka is actually a term that exists longer. It is an acronym for volatility. The V is volatility, U is uncertainty, C stands for complexity, and A stands for ambiguity, which I especially like. So in procurement terms, volatility is actually quite easy to understand, and we see it every day. Yeah, we see the increasing prices, yeah, from products, yeah, and we see the inflation, and we see obviously, yeah, the tremendous shortcuts from gas supplies, yeah, where we have now accelerating prices in gas that we have never had before. So this is volatility. Yeah. So the world is really going in prices up. Yeah. But not only up, but it's going down and up. Yeah. It's even worse. So this is the V. Yeah. U, uncertainty, is also obvious because we hardly understand the current situation, yeah, but it's even more difficult to understand, yeah, when is this going to an end? Yeah, when will inflation end? Yeah, is a similar question is when does COVID end? Yeah, and when does the war end? Yeah, and what happens then? Yeah, we never anticipated this war, yeah, and we obviously never anticipated COVID, and so the solutions that we try to find, yeah, have to include a lot of different variables, yeah, because the problems are not one single problem, but they are distributed many problems. You can be very pessimistic, and that's very often in the news are pessimistic information. We have now, as hard as the war in Ukraine is, and the hardship, yeah, that Ukrainians have, and the hardship that also comes along for even Germans, yeah, when they have to fear that they will have cold apartments in winter. It's also a chance that we adapt and we get rid of fossil fuels, and this is also a big step in getting more sustainable. And this is a positive thing. Yeah? So I really want to also see the other side. Yeah? And so for me, ambiguity in the Vuca world is actually my personal anchor.
I have to say, I like your positive point of view. Sebastian, now I would like to learn more about Unite in combination with Vuca. So what would you say is Unite's role in tackling Vuca?
Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to help our customers and suppliers, yeah, in this dramatic situation. And this is more an adaptation. We can't help getting rid of inflation. Yeah? This is too big challenge for Unite. Yeah? It's not something that we can solve. But where we can help is to help customers and suppliers to be more dynamic in their pricing, which helps them to solve very, very critical problem in classical frame contracts. Because classical frame contracts, yeah, how they used to be the last decades, is that customers have a bargain with suppliers every 1, 2, 3 years and demand from supplier fixed prices on certain products. And so it's very clear, they get a price reduction and it's there for 3 years. But the problem is that suppliers don't give these frame contracts anymore with cheap prices, because a supplier that doesn't know how much or whether at all he will be able to buy this product that he's giving fixed prices on in 2 years or 3 years, has to give a very high risk margin on top. So he says, okay, if I have to buy this product in 3 years, maybe I have to pay the double.
But yes, but how can Unite contribute to a market balance, ensuring that supply and also demand somehow matched? And what solution do you offer to fix nowadays issues?
Yeah, well, the trick is, it's actually something which is also known in the procurement world. It's called a reverse auction. We introduced this dynamic pricing. So we say it's actually more efficient not to speak every 1, 2, 3 years to make a big request for quote and compare suppliers' prices. It's much more inefficient compared to actually auctioning every single basket. So you're not auctioning a 10 million contract, but you're auctioning a €100 basket that you're just about to buy. And so by doing that, you get out of the risk which comes along with the long-term contract, and you just auction a basket with 3 suppliers that you have already there. So we have in our Unite network, we have the possibility to connect with the click of a button to 1, 2, 3, 4 suppliers. And so the buyer fills the basket, and then he presses the button and it's auctioned with the supplier. And the supplier it doesn't mean that the supplier is there on the screen and giving prices for a €100 basket. But before the auction actually starts, the suppliers have given us 2 prices. The maximum price that they are about willing to sell the product without any competition. And then they give us a minimum price to which price they would go when they have competition. So, and then we can automatically with an algorithm calculate the actual auction. And that means that we can adapt very quickly, customers and suppliers can adapt very quickly to changes of the market. So if there's a shortage and the prices increases, the suppliers can increase their prices every day and can change. But it's still a fair price, because if all 3 suppliers increase their price, then this is the new market price. Mm-hmm. And it's not because one supplier is egoistic and he can just raise the prices without the customer actually getting a fair price. So this is the concept of reverse auctions, and that leads to dynamic frame contracts, so that you still have a contract, but you say, okay, dear supplier, you can change your prices every day, but we auction the basket with 2 of your competitors.
Okay, dynamic pricing sounds interesting. Maybe just a quick last thought. Is it all about price, or what about relationships?
Yes, that is the big problem. That has always been the big problem of the reverse auction. This is the biggest drawback written in literature, that if you only go about price, you obviously lose the relationship. But that is actually not true. I don't understand why in the literature it was never written that it's not the case. Because you can extend the reverse auction with a very simple mechanism to really allow to having relationship to suppliers. Let's make an example. You have one supplier which you actually work already for years, and you had the frame contracts with this supplier. And you have difficulties now because this supplier is increasing prices, and you get a little bit nervous, because you always pay more and you don't know whether you're getting a fair price. But you actually want to have this supplier. Difficulty. So what we do is we say, okay, let's say the supplier gives you a consulting service. Yeah, you can call him and he speaks and explains his products, and that is very expensive for him to do this explanation. And other suppliers don't do it. And this is why you have the relationship with your supplier. And so you say, okay, we have to value this service. You as a buyer, you have to value this service. You say, okay, I'm willing to buy your products, let's say 10% more expensive because of this service. But if your competitor B or C are more than 10% cheaper, I buy with them. So you say, okay, I have a preference for you, but it's limited. I don't pay the double of the price. Yeah? And that makes it fair. And the supplier can see that he is preferred with a 10% price, part of the price, yeah? And that's fair for him. And the other competitors can see that they don't offer this service, and it's also fair for them. Yeah? So they understand they have to be more than 10% cheaper than the existing supplier that is preferred, but they have a fair chance. So in this way, you can solve two problems. You can solve at the one side having the fair price of the market with the two other competitors, and at the same time you keep the relationship. And that is I think it's really cool, and I don't know why nobody has implemented that, or I haven't heard that.
But you did it.
We did it. Yeah, we did it actually quite a while ago.
Right. So Sebastian, as I mentioned in the beginning, we also have to and want to talk about sustainability in combination with the procurement business and also the Unite platform. So first of all, maybe you can give us a short overview. How can Unite contribute to solving sustainability issues? Well,
actually, it's a combination of what I've just said, because you can now have, let's say, a new sustainability criteria, which is like how does the supplier deliver his products, in which kind of packaging? Yeah? Is there a lot of plastic included, or is it just cardboard packaging? So is it sustainable or is it non-sustainable? So, and now buyers can say, okay, yeah, they demand, very often they come to us and say, please send all the packages, yeah, with cardboard and not with plastic. But not every supplier does that. And so we can say, okay, so what are you willing as a buyer to pay more for getting a sustainable packaging? So if the buyer says nothing, zero, you can say, okay, then it's not worth you anything. And so the trick is now that the customer can give a value to a sustainability criterion of a supplier. And you can also give a value to a sustainability criterion of a manufacturer, yeah, because there are different manufacturers for goods. And one manufacturer is maybe producing in a country, yeah, where human rights are not very, very important. And you as a customer, you can decide and can say, okay, do I care about human rights, or do I not care about human rights? And if I do care about human rights, yeah, you would rather prefer a certain product coming out of a country which is also having human rights. And so this way, the customer can actually give his sustainability preferences, and they are then included like these other preferences for these consulting services that I've spoken before. Yeah? So these are only a subset of the preferences that you can give to suppliers and manufacturers are sustainability preferences. But there will be thousands of sustainability criteria that you can measure and that you can give preferences on as a buyer.
Okay, but what does this mean now for the ecosystem, for buyers and also for the suppliers? Can you explain that a little bit more?
I'm very technical. I explain it very technically. That's my background leads me into this, but it's actually quite interesting, because when you as a buyer give a sustainability criteria a value, we see that. Yeah, we as a platform, we as a Unite platform, we can see that. So we see that you are giving this certain price advantage for sustainability for a supplier that has this sustainability criteria. And actually, it doesn't mean that you have to spend all the money, but because maybe you give a 5% advantage, yeah, but the supplier is not 5% more expensive, yeah, and you don't need to pay the full 5%. But we can measure that. We can measure how much you actually paid for pushing the suppliers, yeah, or for giving preferences to the suppliers for being sustainable. And so we can measure your sustainability. We can measure what percentage of your procurement volume transacted over our platform have you invested into sustainability as a buyer. And now, yeah, so we walk the talk, yeah, we really make it transparent what you say, yeah, whether it's true or not, yeah. So when you say we are really, really green and we see that you don't actually invest any cent, yeah, in buying from more sustainable suppliers, yeah, then it's obviously a lie. I mean, we're not making that transparent to the world, yeah, it's still your data, yeah, as a customer, but we're making it transparent to you, yeah, and then maybe your suppliers and your customers will ask for this kind of information. But we can calculate it, and that is the part for the buyers. Mm-hmm. For the suppliers, it's actually, I believe, even more interesting. Because for suppliers, what you see is you have all these orders coming in, and you see the preferences of the buyers that bought these orders for sustainability criteria. And you can see which sustainability criteria you did not fulfill, and you can see what was bad, yeah, for your economic, yeah, that you were not fulfilling the sustainability criteria. So we can measure how much it would be worth to you to actually solve the problem of this sustainability criterion. Mm-hmm. So we give it an economic value. And that means that you as a supplier, you can invest into making your product more sustainable. And so you get the market data from us, yeah, what you should invest in. And this is huge. This is huge because then you take the risk out for a supplier to have invested into the wrong features of your product. So I believe that this could be the biggest impact that we have, and we can actually push billions of euro into a more and more sustainable procurement. Mm-hmm. And that is for me. I believe this is our contribution. Yeah, this is the biggest thing I can help, and that's cool.
Indeed, it's also a very smart system. So the last question, maybe you can answer just in 1-2 sentences. When you imagine the situation from now on in 5 or 10 years, how do you think the procurement world will look like, and how can Unite contribute?
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you now add all these sustainability criteria, I hope, and I really believe it, that the value of these sustainability criteria that are actually implemented in the products, which are not changing the products in its function, yeah, but having more information, understanding how it was produced, where it was produced, and how it can be recycled. All that is an expensive, that costs, yeah, to make products sustainable. Yeah, and I believe that customers will value this information, this data, these sustainability certificates higher than the original cost of the product. Yeah, so it's a chance for suppliers, yeah, to expand into the market of sustainability. And these markets are obviously super great, yeah, because they are changing the world to a better. I believe that this will happen. Yeah, I'm sure, because every smart person in the world, yeah, that understands, yeah, in what trouble we are in, will also contribute, yeah, to making these products and these services and then the world more sustainable. So I'm as tough as this might be heard, yeah, I am still. I think we will be able to solve the problem. I mean, I hope that not too much is going down the drain, yeah, until we solve the problem, but we will solve the sustainability problem. I'm quite sure about that.
That's a very perfect ending. So Sebastian, thank you so much for your insights. It was so much fun talking to you and learn a lot about Unite. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have more information, you can also visit the website unite.eu. Thank you so much for watching.